All right, hey, check it out. Working on the, I don't know, been calling it the Orange Beast. Hopefully it'll be quite, well, run quite well, let's just say. So, I got a lot more stuff here together. I did get it to the point where I could do the initial start, and I got a little video on my phone, so I'm going to insert that now. All right. I just cranked it over, brought oil up, filled up the transmission, checked the fuel, fired it up, smoked a little like I expected because I had some oil down in the cylinders. Well, leaking some oil here out of the transmission. But it's doing what it should. Alright, I still got more I got to check out here. We have no check engine light. I think the best part here, while I'm making a mess, is oh, that's weird. The rev's over 2 grand. Definitely a plus. Alright, if you noticed, we were able to rev it over 2,000 RPMs. Now I did have, what was it doing? The windshield wipers were coming on, and I think the left turn signal, it ended up being, I didn't have this ground over here on this side, right here, connected. So since then, I've got all the charge pipe installed. I'm actually working on some of that here right now. Trying to get the HKS blow-off valve down in, so it's turning out to be quite irritating at the moment. I still didn't get any of the gauges ran yet, so I'm going to be working on that here today. Alright, so you've seen the little video where I started up on my phone. Right now I'm just kind of still working on getting everything situated, so let's take a look and see where I mounted everything. So I have the coolant mounted here, and then I brought my solenoids through right here. I had to remount the horn down here. I ran my hose down across here, out through, down over to that. Was having some problems with the blow-off valve, and it was pretty interesting, so I'll probably show that here in a minute. But I wanted to get that, just a good showing of this front end here. I'm actually getting ready to install the bumper right now. So hopefully this is the last time that this goes on. I've already got the insulation installed in the wheel wells, and I will be installing the new wheel wells finally and getting them up off the floor. Yay! So, like I said, it does run. It still does need broke in some more, looked over. It's going to need tuned and everything else, but it is at the point where it'll start and move by itself. So that's goals all on its own. All right. So we've been getting quite a bit of stuff done. Everything's pretty much together here in the front end. I installed the nice aftermarket radiator hold downs that I have. I'm still waiting on the HKS blow-off valve. Maybe I should show that to you here quick. Maybe we can just say that this is a good warning, you know. Don't try this at home. Because I did, and it worked out pretty bad. So that's where we're at. We ended up snapping a little bit off the edge of this. This thing is basically brand new. There's our little chunk that got snapped off. There's our seal and our lock ring. What I was trying to do was, I ended up trying to just push down on this and kind of like, I put it on there and I just tried to give it a tap, and for some reason it ended up catching the edge of that, snapped it right off. So I mean, this one was purchased through Modern Performance. It's no one's fault but my own. I didn't notice anything with it, and then I pulled it out, and maybe it happened before. I don't know, maybe this thing got dropped or bumped or something while I was trying to install it in between. I because I did pull it out of another pipe. So I think maybe that was what happened, not me pump pushing on it, but I seen the edge there because it didn't want to sit down in. That was my whole issue. So I got to that point and I pulled it out, and then I seen it, and then I just kind of like pushed on it lightly, and that corner snapped off. So we have one of these on order. It's a cheap one, so even if it ends up being something different, I still have the actual HKS here. As long as the housing's the same, I can make it work. So what we got going on here is I repaired and cleaned up the seats. I did start running some of the gauge wiring. So I have the power wire here to feed the AFR gauge, and I have the power and feed here for the boost, and I'm just running the little boost sender. The little boost sender is right here, tapped into the factory line. Then down here, what I did was I brought the lines down through. So this one is for the AFR, and this one is for the boost. Now, I'm not sure if these will work to send a signal to the HP tuner that I'm going to be using, but if I do choose to go that route, I will be able to differentiate them by this now. I do have to run the sensor wire out, which the sensor wire is already installed into the exhaust. And then right here into the dash, I have the AFR and the boost installed there. So we're going to have a dual boost pod there. I was kind of mentioning that already. I do have a dual pillar pod right here. This one I had already installed, but I had pulled the gauges out. I'll just need to wipe this thing down. But we are going to be installing fuel pressure and oil pressure into here. And I think I'll be able to send a signal from them too. I don't know how many I'm going to be able to pick up with the HP. So at least I'll know. Probably fuel pressure might be good. If I can get oil, that'll be good too. Because if you're building boost and your fuel pressure is falling off, you'll be able to see it. So, I mean, technically we shouldn't have a problem with this when we're doing our stuff, but at least we'll be able to log that stuff. So, I'm going to finish getting my AFR wiring fed down through. Normally, how I do these is I'll use the antenna, and then I tape the wire to this, and I'll actually push it down through the boot there, down around for that. All right, so we're finally to this point of getting this thing, well, this is going to be like maybe the third start, but if you check out some of the video, we did get everything. We still have a trunk full of a lot of goodies yet to put on this. I still have to do the pillar gauges, but we did get the boost and the AFR are now functioning. We did replace the valve. It's in there, it's working good now, so let's start this thing up. bright too. I guess I'll have to, this is kind of growing on me, the leaf right there. Yep, fan kicked on, so we did come up to 10. Now, still good and loud. I'm going to drop it down, pull it out of here for the first time. Just gonna run this thing up and down my driveway some, see how it acts. All right, we're back, we're in. Took it for a drive. I didn't have the O-ring seated right, which was the original problem with the first one. I think it's in here now. Okay, so I think we're good there. This was a little loose. Those were loose, which I think was giving me, when you go to let off, you had a little bit of a noise. I can say that, like, this has that shifter in it. You really got to muscle that shifter. Not really used to that. But you could tell it kind of wanted to spool, but didn't really make any boost. I have the lightest spring in the wastegate, so I don't know what that's for. And then I have this one here, kind of just plugged. That's the one that's supposed to go to the boost controller. But like, I just ran back the road real quick twice, just to kind of, you know, feel this thing out. A lot of stuff was apart. The suspension still needs lined up as far as, you know, your toe and everything else, and your camber. You can tell this one's negative. There's still more stuff to do that. Like, I had to readjust the hood latch. And the clutch, you know, a brand new clutch, man. That thing needs seated in. So that's what we were doing. A very successful test drive. Starts, it runs. Nothing broke. We did find some stuff that we missed to tighten up. We didn't have the clamp on the air filter, so it kind of vibrated back there, but that stuff's pretty hot. And we're just gonna let everything sit. We brought it up through a temp and a little quick drive. So we're gonna look at this thing again tomorrow, and I guess that's kind of where I'm just gonna end this. But we had a successful test drive down the road, and you know, we've got a lot more stuff that's gonna need to be done to this.